Hi guys, I can't be with you today, but as I told you on Monday, we are going to write and you're still going to write. So I made this little video to explain the writing task for you. You see, I've published it here under resources on the course site here, and it's called Fake News Article. So, and here's a description of the assignment. I'll go through it to help you understand what to do. So we're going to write a fake news article since we've been working with fake news. And I've made 3 possible topics for you. And so you pick one of them and you make a fake news article. So the first idea that I have is that new technology has finally made it possible to bring back species that are extinct through a process called construct cloning. The first creature that has successfully been brought back is the Tasmanian tiger. A litter of 5 cubs have been born in the laboratory of Keslami Willostock in Seattle, in the US. So this is all something that I've made up, okay? The Tasmanian tiger is real though, or it's extinct. So it's a real animal that used to live that is no longer with us. And second one, Beyonce is expecting triplets and not twins. And they have kept this a secret because they plan to give one up for adoption. And rumor has it that Obama and Michelle are the ones who will adopt if they get a boy. So that's the second case you can choose. And the third, the Norwegian government has decided that there should be no homework in Norwegian schools, but many teachers refuse to quit and still give homework in secret. The student council is campaigning against this. So these are the 3 sort of news articles that you can choose. And of course you have to use your imagination here. I've given you a few facts, but you have to make up the rest. So you have to make up fake interviews and fake facts. The article has to have an interview. So it's important that you interview some of the people that are mentioned here. In the last one, I haven't mentioned any names or things like that, so you have to make that up as well. And then, since you are working on your own today, you have to hand in a first draft, and I said between 300 and 500 words today. Otherwise, you'll be noted as absent from today's classes. We'll continue to work with this on Mondays. I won't give you any sort of feedback, but you have to hand in so that I can see that you've done something. And it's also very important that you've done something for the work we're going to do on Monday. So pick one of these topics and write a fake news article. Now you see here I've also added a checklist with assessment criteria, and I thought I would go through that quickly with you because there are some things you should think about when you write this news article of yours, because it's fake, but we're trying to make it look like a real article, and then we have to know what does a real article look like, because if we're going to be able to fool somebody with this, with our fake news, the more it looks like real news, the easier it is to fool people. So if you click on this one, you will get the document opened, and it looks like this. So there are 2 parts here. And it says, use the checklist below to evaluate the structure and language used in the article. Place a check mark in the proper column. You don't have to do that now. We'll work with this on Monday. But the point is, these are the criteria. So there are some criteria that has to do with structure and genre, which genre means like it should look like a news article and not some other form of text. And then there's a bit about language. So if we start with the language bit, this is, think back to the PowerPoint that Marianne went through about formal and informal language. A news article is a text that uses a formal language. So that means you should use advanced and learned vocabulary. You should avoid phrasal verbs and idioms. You should avoid in-group words, slang words, and taboo words. You should have no interjections or markers of interaction. Again, a lot of words here. Maybe you don't remember from the PowerPoint. You find the PowerPoint in OneNote, by the way, but Marianne has also added explanations here. So you see idiom, in-group words, interjection, phrasal verbs. You find a definition below here. So if you think, what, I don't remember what this is, don't worry, you can find a description. So if you don't remember, okay, oh, I should avoid phrasal verbs. What is a phrasal verb? Look further down in the document and you'll get a definition. So complex sentences, you should have like longer sentences, not very short sentences, but long and complex sentences, and so on. So just look at this, and we'll go through it more in class and so on. I just wanted to have it at the back of your mind that you have to try and use a formal language, and especially this one is important for a newspaper article. As a journalist, you should try to be neutral, and you should not show in the text, which means that you shouldn't say I think or we believe or I have interviewed this person or something like that. You should never say I as a journalist. If you interview somebody, they can of course say I, so that's the only place where you can use I in the article. If you interview somebody and they say I think, but as a journalist, you shouldn't say what you think. Also think about your quotes when you have interviewed, made your fake interviews. You have to mark your quotes either with quotation marks and then said blah blah blah, or a hyphen, which is this little part here. Okay, and we'll get back to the rest on Monday. Now, also something to think about when you start writing your newspaper article is that a newspaper article is different from the other kinds of text that we write, and especially those texts we write in school. Yep. One of the things that is different is, for example, the length of paragraph. I said here that you have to have short and concise paragraph. And just to give you an example, this is an article from The Guardian, and you see here that it has a title, a very short opening paragraph. This is what we call ingress in Norwegian. And then the other paragraphs are also very short. Actually, this is only one sentence. This is only one sentence. Yeah, mostly it's one or two sentences. This is two sentences. So this is different from other texts, right? If you did that on your personal essay, I would say, okay, write longer paragraphs. But when we write news, we want short paragraphs. And then you have to really think about that you have to give the most important information first in the article, because you don't know whether your reader is going to read the whole article. Often when we read news, we only read the title and the first couple of paragraphs. So you need to make sure that your reader knows what's important from the beginning. And that is also quite different from other kinds of texts. And also news articles, they don't have conclusions. They just stop. You know, the information gets less and less important, and then it stops. So we're going to work more with this, but I just wanted to give you some few things to think about before you start writing. So focus on, when you're writing your first draft, to try to use an advanced and formal language, and try to do this. Give the most important information first and use short paragraphs, and don't say anything about your personal opinion. You have to be neutral as a journalist. Okay, I hope that was clarifying the text, or I'm sorry, the task. So here you have it again. You find it under tasks and assignments, fake news article, and the criteria are also in here, and you can look at it, but don't worry too much if there's something you don't understand. Just try your best now, and you won't get any assessment on it now. We'll work more with this on Monday. And hand in here, please, so that I can see. And as I said, if you don't hand in, I will note you down as absent for 3 lessons. Okay, so you have to do this, and it has to be between 300 and 500 words. Okay, you can't hand in like one short little paragraph and almost nothing. If you do want to work together with somebody, do that, but you have to write your own article. But you can definitely work together, creating interviews and fake facts and so on. So good luck. If you have any problems, send me a message on It's Learning. I'm at home with my kids. They're sick, so I can't guarantee you that I'll answer you straight away, but you'll get an answer at some point. So I set the deadline for the end of today. Okay, so do hand in.